Hey guys, so this is gonna be a Juggernaut guide. A little bit about me. I'm currently a 4.8k player with a 3.1k party MMR. My highest MMR was 5.4k, and I've recently been spamming Jug. My Jug's win rate used to be like 46% and now it's 53%. And the video is basically me telling you how I win games. So my skill build usually goes something like this and it never really changes. I max my spin first. I get a healing ward at level 2 and then a value point of the crit at level 4. Then I get my ulti whenever possible. Then after maxing my spin, I max my healing ward so that I can jungle more efficiently and help my allies. And then when I reach level 10, I get my talent, the plus 5 stats. Then 15 I get the attack speed. And then I get the Blade Fury DPS. And then finally the Omni Slash duration. So this is what my early items look like. I can get a third rate ban or a magic stick depending on the enemy lineup, but most of the time I prefer going for a third rate ban. And then during the mid game, it's either I get a Battle Fury or a Mjolnir. When we have a Magnus, I get a Mjolnir. When we don't have one, I get a Battle Fury. So after that, it usually depends on the enemy lineup. If the enemy has a Phantom Assassin, I usually rush a Silver Edge. And then after the Silver Edge, I get a Butterfly. After the Butterfly, I would most likely get an Abyssal Blade, starting with the Basher first and then a Vanguard. And then after that, I get a Moonshard. A Moonshard's value as a 6-slot item is actually pretty good, so get it before getting your last item. And when you have your last item, and usually it's gonna be either an MKB if they have evasion, a Satanic if you find yourself dying often, or a Blink Dagger if they have a sniper or something, or a Tinker. But it can also be something like a Hex or a Skadi, or a Nullifier even. But most of the time, I get a Satanic. And then during the ultra late game, I would swap my Battle Fury for a Mjolnir. and always bring a TP scroll. So now I'm gonna show you my settings. I use control groups for my healing ward and illusions if ever I get a manta or an illusion room, which is actually pretty good. The control groups are actually pretty good. So if you're like fighting an enemy, you can just move it around. And if you didn't know yet, you can spin TP with Jugs for skill. And if you're really in a tough position, you can even ulti and then TP. You couldn't do this in the past patches because every Omni Slash attack interrupts, but now they changed it. He changed it so you can do it. You can also use items during the Omni Slash duration, like for example, the Satanic or the Abyssal Blade. Oh, oops, you can't see it because the free spells. And that's about it. Now I'll teach you how to control your Omni Slash. It's actually pretty easy, you just spam right click anywhere on the ground. First, I'll show you what it looks like without me controlling it. So that was it. I just spammed right click near this axe, and it never bounced this one. And just so you know, the more attack speed you get, the harder it is to control your Omni Slash. Because I'm already a level 25 Jug with this Moon Shard, it's already pretty hard to control it already. So let's see it with a lot of Moon Shards. You can still somehow control it, but it ended up bouncing to the other axe. So this trick is most useful during the early game and the mid game when your Omni Slash is still level 1 or level 2. So just keep that in mind. So my early game starting items are 2 Tangos, a Healing Salve, a Stout Shield, and 2 GG branches. This starting item build offers a lot of sustain and the option to turn the GG branches into a magic wand. I usually get a wand if I'm up against an offlaner like Bristleback, who spams his skills a lot, or if my offlaner has a dual lane with a support that spams a lot. But if I'm up against a hero like Centaur, I tend to plant my GG branches for more regen, and then I buy a Wraith Band instead of a magic wand. Jug can last it pretty good under the tower. Oops. And if your wave is pushing like this because your support didn't double pull, you can just push the wave yourself and force the enemy to last it under his tower. With 2 range creeps attacking the wave, and it's pretty fast to push. when I'm last hitting, I tend to look at the map after every last hit. So that's my map awareness tip to you guys. Try your best to secure the rooms every 5 minutes for your team. More often than not, it's more helpful than just hitting a few creeps, as it can help your supports as well. The Bloodseeker just rotated top because he can't handle access harassment from bot. And in my opinion, Juggernaut isn't as good as less hitting isn't as good in less hitting as Bloodseeker. So I asked Axe to trade lanes with me so that he can harass Bloodseeker more. As you can see, I'm almost level 6, so I spun near a bunch of creeps, and I also knew that I had 13 stick charges, so I wasn't afraid to die. As you can see, I'm right-clicking on the ground near over, so I bounce more to him. And I immediately TP'd back to base because Bloodseeker's passive was empowering him too much. Volva, please nerf. And for boot choices, I tend to go for Treads because I like the stats. I only get face boots when there's a Shadow Shaman in the team because I don't want to get trapped in the wards. After you have Treads, Wraith Band, Great Bands, a Magic Wand, and a Quelling Blade, it's farming for Battle Fury or a Maelstrom if you have a Magnus in your team. Most of my games in this patch, I get a Battle Fury because I just farm so fast. But if I have a Magnus in the team, I get a Mjolnir. When farming jungle creeps, I usually spin, so make sure to tread switch to int before you spin and tread switch to strength while you're spinning so that you can take more damage. And then I usually attack the smaller creep first and then the larger one. But if the camp is an Alpha Wolf camp or a healer camp or a Nice Witch camp, I just kill those monsters first. You can actually Ancient relatively early because of your healing ward and the 2 Wraith Bands. Managed to get a pretty fast Battle Fury in this game. So the trick for using Battle Fury is to attack each creep once, though I still don't master it yet. It's important to know when you're weak and when you're strong, and at this point in the game, a level 15 Jug with a Shadow Blade and a Battle Fury is actually pretty strong. So you should fight when you can and farm when you can't. And that was the perfect opportunity to just run there and 4-hit a support Skyrock Mage. So during a smoke gap, it's important to keep in mind who you're gonna target. So at this point, I just OT'd the enemy carry, and I knew for sure that he didn't have any disables yet, so I just TP'd out. When you find an enemy illusion lurking around, make sure to kill it, so that they won't have any vision. Some people just leave the illusions alone, and that gives the enemy so much information to work on. Also, a level 19 jug with this item set can pretty much solo Roche, but keep in mind that anything can happen and the enemy team will most likely contest. And the reason that I bought Shadow Blade for this match was for that. I broke his passive, but there was no follow-up, so RIP. When you siege with Juggernaut, tell your team to just stay behind you so that they can counter-initiate on the enemy. Jug can siege pretty well with his spin. Make sure to watch out for team fights like this. Easy R to win. Last but definitely not the least, when you're winning the game, buy a Meteor Hammer. GG.